What's up, guys? It's Benny. One of the earliest broadcast TV interviews of President Trump took place in the late 1970s, and a fresh-faced President Trump from inside of a brand new Trump Tower in New York talked about all the problems in the world, problems inside of the tax system, problems building buildings, problems internationally, and the reporter asked, "Why don't you run for office?" Donald Trump said he wasn't planning on doing that, but you could see the wheels turning. You could see that this was a man who was going to make moves. And Trump thought about it and toyed with running for politics and running for office for decades and finally executed. And now, well, ladies and gentlemen, he's 45 and 47. Donald Trump is a man of action. When he commits, he gets things done. And he has said also that he wished to sue the fake news, that he was going to sue them into bankruptcy because the fake news lies. Donald Trump, a man of action, following through. ABC News settled with President Trump, paid him $15 million to fund his presidential library. This is hysterical. CBS is now trying to pay Donald Trump tens of millions of dollars after a lawsuit, fake news lawsuit. Donald Trump actually rejected a $15 million offer, demanded an apology, and $25 million. Donald Trump is also suing CNN. Donald Trump is suing the Des Moines Register. He is suing Simon & Schuster. And President Trump also sued Facebook. Facebook paid $25 million to Donald Trump for deplatforming him. Ooh. So you better not F around when it comes to being a broadcaster and what you say about the Trump administration. Effing around is what a guy named Terry Moran did. I'm just going to start calling him Terry Moran because, man, he is a very dumb person. Terry Moran is a guy who decided to go on a anti-Trump violent screed this past weekend for absolutely no reason. He had to have been blackout drunk. But he spent a ton of time writing this screechy screed about Trump and Stephen Miller. Miller is a man who's richly endowed with bile, not brains. It's a capacity for hatred. He's a world-class hater. You can see this just by looking at him. It's like, this guy is a top ABC News anchor, right? Now, something that I noticed is that ABC News only exists because of lavish privileges and licenses bestowed upon them by the American taxpayer and the federal government. The requirement is that they only deliver non-biased coverage in the public interest. And then I called for him to be fired, or for ABC News' broadcast license to be stripped from them. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Terry Moran was suspended. And everybody was saying the same thing. Like, okay, what is going to happen here? By the way, he just interviewed Trump at the White House, like insane. What's going to happen here? You know? Is this going to be just one of those suspensions? He'll be back the next day, right? Like Hassan Piker on Twitch. The most important fact about Terry's public meltdown, says Stephen Miller, who the meltdown was directed at, also President Trump, is that what it shows about the corporate press. For decades, privileged anchors and reporters narrating and gatekeeping our society have been radicals adopting a journalist's pose. Terry pulled the mask off. Katie Miller, this is Stephen Miller's wife, also jumping in here saying this is why Americans don't trust legacy media. When the masks are down, you see the radical left-wing bias at ABC. These people are feeding propaganda to the airwaves, the guise of righteousness. Terry Moran should be fired from the network immediately. Now, a ton of other people said this, a ton of other people from the Trump administration, but you got to really take a step back and understand that ABC News, CBS, and NBC, they all get these very special, very lavish privileges to broadcast freely in America. They broadcast into your TV. You don't have to pay for them. If those licenses were stripped away, which they could be with a stroke of a pen, then people would have to pay for ABC News, would have to pay for the ABC channel, which is right now just an old-timey license situation that was set up a long time ago with the advent of TV. It should all go away, right? It should all be stripped away. So this is why you have to pay for Fox News. You don't have to pay for these other big networks. It's a huge carve-out. It's a huge privilege. And again, it comes with some very, very important strings. You must be broadcasting in the public interest, is what the statute says. Well, anyway, this is clearly not the public interest, and it puts ABC News' entire sweetheart operation at risk. And they have absolutely and totally now shit-canned this guy. ABC News fires Terry Moran days after veteran anchor's social media outburst. Trump aide Stephen Miller. Moran, 65, was suspended by the Disney-owned network on Sunday following early morning tirade. But now they said that we are at the end. This is ABC News. At the end of our agreement with Terry Moran, based on his recent post, which a clear violation of ABC News policies, we have made the decision not to renew, so he has been fired. At ABC News, we hold all of our reporters to the highest standards of objectivity and fairness and professionalism, and we remain committed to delivering straightforward, trusted journalism. Moran's contract was up this Friday, a source, according to the Post. Jeez. Unbelievable. No alternative but for ABC News to fire Terry Moran, an insider says. ABC News was left with no alternative but to let the longtime correspondent go over his now-deleted X post. It's just sad, honestly, says an ABC News staffer to Fox Digital. It's sad for him, a longtime colleague, friend. He's a good person, family man. It's just unfortunate, but there was no alternative, especially in these times. The network acknowledged that the industry-wide issue of distrust of legacy media, we effing took it seriously and dealt with it pretty quickly, said the ABC News staffer. The ABC News staffer said Moran had been with the network for 28 years, was liked by his colleague, and insisted there wasn't some psycho-liberal like his ex-post suggested. Okay. It's like kind of just dumb, right? Somebody with his experience at a senior level may be making anywhere between $600,000 and $900,000 a year. So this is a sweet gig, right? The decision to boot Moran comes on the heels of an exclusive report by the Post that news staffers were pissed at the damage in the outburst, an already battered reputation. Yeah, ABC News has been absolutely dunked on. As we showed you, ABC News had to settle with President Trump and pay him tens of millions in defamation settlement. And now he's been fired. See ya, dude. Absolutely fired and gone, and good riddance. ABC News has fired him, and we've already read the statement, but good on you. It'd be really nice for there to be more of this accountability in the news profession. Like, you know, go start a podcast, dude. You know what I mean? Like, go give it your best shot, right? Like, good luck. You can do the Jim Acosta route, okay? It's an insane thing that he just interviewed Donald Trump. So we look forward, ladies and gentlemen, to seeing what's next for Terry. I can guarantee you now that somehow the Trump administration will be blamed by the usual suspects for bullying ABC News into this. There's no bullying, except for what happened when Terry interviewed Donald Trump inside of the White House. This is legendary, ladies and gentlemen. Watch Donald Trump, early retire this guy. We said that Trump ended his career. Little did we know how right we were. There you go.
Wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
over that. Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't
sir.
you just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.